What is poppin'? My peoples, my name is Darian from Look North Recordings. I'm over here at the Creation Station here. I've had a lot of y'all say to me, yo, like, what does your studio look like? I've seen some pictures, but not the whole thing. I'm gonna run down the whole thing for y'all today. I'm gonna just go through and just talk about like what kind of gear makes the most sense for my space, acoustics type stuff, all that fun stuff. So we're gonna go through that and let's get started with it. Oh, snap. I didn't see you there. I wasn't expecting anybody to come and check out the studio, but yeah, here we go. I think one of the most important parts of having an organized studio is making it so that all your cables are just right where they need to be and like not looking all cluttered and all over the place. When I just started out my studio, I wasn't really thinking about where I was putting my cables. I was just thinking, I need these cables, right? But this thing really helps out. It's a cable holder. I have them separated by my patch cables, USB cables, instrument cables, speaker cables, stuff like that, just to kind of keep things a little bit more organized. I also have some guitar straps just in case, you know, you gotta switch one out. Sometimes it happens. As far as the rest of my cables, because I got a crap ton more cables than that, we got these little cubbies going on over here where I separate them out at what kind of cable they are. These ones are more of like the smaller, more unique cables that kind of just work for specific situations. These ones are gonna be my main XLRs and longer cables. And then these are gonna be, and then these ones down here are gonna be more of the instrument cables and TRS cables down there. It's really good to just keep them organized that way. That way, like, you can be like, oh, I need a specific one, and you just know exactly where it is. You don't have to fiddle around with it. I'm not showing you the closet because it's not organized. I just want to look perfect, so that's why I'm not showing you that. All right, so over to the fridge. Every comfortable studio has to have a fridge that's popping with the best beverages. You know, you gotta be able to offer a Fiji water, you know? If the artist is like, I'm trying to feel bougie today, I need a Fiji water, but like, got you, fam. Got some Fiji waters, got some fucking, some ciders, got some brewskis, got some Mike's Hard, you know, for the fancy party bitches. These are kind of just for me, just if I want to sit down and have a little session. I'm a fan of the kombucha, so I decided I'd get a harder version, you know, for the booch heavyweights. I also like to keep the vibes going in here. You know, if there's not a vibe, there's just not a good session, right? So I usually like to keep it equipped with the incense on deck, and then also, you know, a little salt lamp. Just in case you need some extra vibes, you know, you gotta keep the vibes rotating in here, you know what I'm saying? Also, another addition to the vibes is the studio couch, okay? Sometimes there's more than one person in here and there's not always enough chairs, so there's gotta be the couch. It's just a necessary thing. And if anyone were to sleep over in the studio, this thing pulls out into a futon. So it's kind of a Swiss Army knife of comfortability in the Creation Station. Moving on to some of the acoustics type stuff. I DIY'd like all my acoustic stuff. I like building things, so I felt like it was a good project to take on. These right here are just some really thick absorbers. They kind of catch those like very first reflections coming off of the speakers. They do an enormous amount of like just dampening to the point where we're not getting a bunch of reflections in here. But also, the more absorption you do, you gotta equal it out with a little bit of diffusion, kind of like have a regulated deflection of sound waves rather than just everything absorbed, because you're gonna miss out on a little bit of that high end that you're gonna get from having actual reflections in the room. So we got some different kinds of diffusers, different like depths and stuff like that, and it really helps out with just like, it has a live feel to it. It doesn't feel too dead. but you still have like a very regulated, normal amount of reflection in here to where it feels like a real room also at the same time. Over here on the corners of the room, I got bass traps, and that really does a huge amount of keeping out those really boomy bass frequencies that you don't need. It just keeps it right where you're expecting it to be. And it honestly, I think out of all the acoustic streaming that I've done in here, the bass traps are like doing the most helpful stuff in here. And I'm still yet to put a tiny bit more absorption kind of towards the where I'm facing my computer, but you know, right now it's doing pretty good. As far as the gear that I have in here, like instrument wise, I like to just keep it down to exactly what I need. I'm not a huge synth guy or anything. I'm more of an instrument kind of guy. Guitar, drums. This is the Roland V Drums TK25. It honestly meets all of the expectations that I need in an electronic drum pad, basically. If anybody wants to come in and track MIDI drums and they want it to feel like more real, this one definitely gets the job done. And there's some really good presets in there too if they wanted to use some of the actual sounds that are already in there. As far as guitars, this is like my trusty go-to bass. I record all of my bass tracks on this guy. It is a workhorse through and through. Super clanky. You can hear that string attack when you want it, but you can also kind of get rid of it if you don't want it. It's a pretty versatile bass. As far as 6 strings go, this one right here is my baby. It's like an actual Fender Telecaster. I custom installed some of these Fishman Fluence pickups in here. It was not supposed to have these kind of pickups in there, but I had a dude in my town kind of like soup it up and get like a battery pack installed so that you can have the active pickups in there instead of the passive ones that were already in there. So this gets super clean, spanky, clear sounds out of whatever types of guitar stuff I need, and I absolutely fucking love it. You know, you gotta get the Fender flag, obviously. If I were to be endorsed by any guitar company, Fender all the way, okay? Like, just Fender for life. As far as what I got going on for my current microphone setup, this is the Aston Spirit. I cannot vouch for it enough, honestly. I've used U87s, I've used Telefunken, whatever. I've used a lot of them. And this definitely gets the closest to the actual sound of a U87, and it's only roughly $500. I mean, it's an absolute steal for what you're getting clarity wise. Really good noise rejection, all that good stuff that you want in a fancy microphone, but just not $3,000, you know what I'm saying? Just pretty basic pop filter, but this mic claims to have a pop filter and a shock mount built into it. Just honestly, it'll save you a lot of stress. Just get your own pop filter just in case. Get your own shock mount just in case. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. So as far as monitoring goes, like when I'm mixing or recording, I got my favorite things for each job, okay? So as far as mixing and kind of like listening back to a mix, these are the bomb diggity. They're Sennheiser HD 58X Jubilee headphones. They were a limited edition through like the Mass Drop website or whatever. They're pretty much getting as close as you can possibly get to the HD 650s without actually getting there. They have like almost identical frequency response, but they were way cheaper. So I was a big fan of that. So these are really good for mixing. Open back is normally going to be what you want when it comes to mixing because you're getting a way more accurate representation of where the bass actually is. Could not recommend those more. I don't think they even are out there anymore, but I love them. And then as far as recording goes, vocals, any of that type of stuff, you really just cannot go wrong with the Audio Technica's ATH M40, M50. Any of those are just gonna basically be the best for the job. Like, when someone's singing, they don't necessarily need it to be super extremely hi-fi. They just need to be able to hear themselves, and they need to not get what they're hearing into the mic. That's literally the only goal when you're recording vocals. So I like to just keep it right down to the bare bones. As far as monitors go, I got the Kali LP6s. They are extremely balanced in like every sense of how you would want them for mixing. Really good for production too, but as far as mixing goes, the bass is pretty damn accurate. The highs are really clean and don't hurt your ears over long periods of time. The mids blew me away, I think, the most, like out of every aspect of what I was hearing out of these. It's just extremely clean, extremely precise. In a mix, I've never had issues with the mids when I was listening through these, and super thankful for that. And these right here actually aren't even working. Like they don't even have sound going out of them. I found them next to a dumpster. All right, so as far as my actual individual gear pieces go, have to start out with the Furman power conditioners. They really just do it the best, and they're not expensive, so it's really kind of just a no-brainer when it comes to getting all of your studio power running through the same places without it getting all messed up. So Furman power conditioners. This is an old gem that I've been using for any of my amp simulation, cab simulation for guitars and bass. This is the Line 6 Pod HD Pro. It's a fossil, okay? It's not new at all, but it honestly does get the job done for a lot of different things. You can still get some pretty solid tones out of there. Eventually I'll upgrade, but for right now it's doing exactly what I want it to do. Interface, this is basically the motherboard of my entire setup. This is the Scarlett 18i20. Focusrite Scarlett 18i20. I'm running my main monitors through here. I'm running my headphones through here. It's so clean and clear, and it does exactly what you want it to do. This right under it is the Behringer Ultra Gain ADAT interface. This is basically if I just need more inputs, I can connect the ADAT optical connection so that I can get 16 inputs instead of just the 8 that come with the interface. I occasionally use that if I'm doing drums or anything like that, but normally it just sits here as a collector's item. As far as the patch bay, so not a lot of smaller size studios like tend to require patch bay, but with the amount of things that I like routing really quickly, a patch bay absolutely does the trick. I keep it set up and patched to have the Aston Spirit plugged into the preamp, going into the EQ, and then just right into Logic. That's kind of like my standard setup that I have for vocals pretty much at all times. It literally just, it boosts it really well. It gives it like that nice little sheen on the high end, and it gives it a little bit of like low end fullness with the preamp and stuff. Recording vocals going straight through there, and it always sounds clean and clear, ready to go. All right, and for the rest of my little flavor pieces we got here. So, like I said earlier, this is my go-to preamp for everything. It's equipped with a vintage Neve style transformer in there, so it has like that low end fatness and fullness. Going into a Chameleon Labs 560, which is like kind of like a Neve style EQ. But I'm telling you, this 16K boost, it works good on like every single vocal I've ever put it through. It's extremely silky, my dude, silk. And then this is like an 1176 style compressor by Lindell Audio. I use it on something if I want to like really smash the shit out of it and kind of get that nice little grit out of it. But it doesn't work on everything, honestly. It's just a flavor piece for when you need it, for sure. This right here is the Lindell Audio PEX 500 passive EQ, so it's emulating like a Pultec. This is really good on kick drums that you just need to have just enormous like weight to them, but still keep it nice and like not harsh. You can do the Pultec trick on it where you can boost and attenuate the low frequencies to get that nice little scooped feel. This is definitely another flavor piece, just like the 1176 style one. It just works really good on certain stuff, but it doesn't work on everything, so it'd be like that. This is the SM Pro multi-band compressor. Honestly, not a huge fan of it right now, but it fills up space in the rack right now. And it looks kind of cool. So that's pretty much it. I honestly don't use it on really anything. The output of it is really dirty and I don't enjoy that, but that's how it be. As far as how I'm holding all of these, it's really good to have a nice, clean, high-end lunchbox to hold all of it. It doesn't necessarily have to be the API one, but just a really good chassis to hold them so that it's not introducing any crazy noise type of stuff and making the signals all dirty. We don't need that. We need it to just go in and out and do its job. The API lunchbox, it does it. All right, it does it well. And then as far as a little bit more of my little flavor pieces, these ones are a little bit more workhorse. This is the really nice compressor, super clean. It honestly works on pretty much everything. The super nice mode makes it so that it splits the ratio across different circuits and makes it even more transparent than without it on. Super good on vocals, just going straight into the DAW. Really good for mixing too, if you just need something that's not like, ooh, fancy vintage style. Like you just want it to compress really well and really cleanly. That's the stuff right there. This right here is the really nice leveling amplifier. This is kind of the more the version that you would use if you want more saturation and more clap and smack and flap. This is gonna be the one. This is gonna be the one that you want. So I got both of them going right there. That's pretty much it for the analog stuff. Once we go into the digital domain, all right? So recently I just upgraded my laptop setup to a Mac Mini setup. So it's the 2018 Mac Mini. I upgraded the RAM in there so that it's 32 instead of the 16 that it came with. I have not had an issue yet running fat sessions with it and running fat plugins. It really does handle all of that really high processing power type of stuff. Super clean. I absolutely love it. Let's see. We got it with the keyboard, the mouse, all wireless. And as far as like my USB routing setup back here, I have it so I have like a USB hub where any type of little USB things that won't fit into the Mac Mini itself, I'll just have it go into this hub and then plug this hub into one of the two USB inputs it has. And that's been working really well so far. I got my drive. This is more of a primary one to the secondary, less awesome one that I have. I run sessions off of this. This is like the holy grail of memory right here. And as far as MIDI controllers go, I like to keep it really straightforward and simple. All I need is a couple octaves of keys, some pads for the drums. This is the Akai MPK Mini. It does exactly what I need it to do, exactly when I want to do it. And that's it. I don't need a giant ass keyboard taking up all my space. I just need something real small and cute. All right, so that was the rundown of the Creation Station for y'all. Hope you got all the information you needed. Go ahead and compress that motherfucking like button. Go ahead and compress that motherfucking subscribe button so that you can see all my videos when they come out. I'm gonna try to keep it every single Monday, so bet that. And also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram and join our Discord server that we just recently started up. We got a bunch of cool people in there, just literally talking about music, mingling with other like-minded music people. It's fucking wonderful so far. So get up in there. Happy music making, my peeps.